Good to see you again, brother.
You too. It's good to see you.
Well, I don't get to chapel all the time because being president needs to have me about 3 places at the same time a lot of the times. But I know that you're there, and you and Cindy spend a lot of time thinking about how people in the generation that we're working with now, how from all those different denominational groups and all those backgrounds, how they can worship together. That's got to be a real challenge. How do you guys do that?
Very challenging. By faith. By faith. A lot of hard work goes into it, but we use a lot of student leadership too. So we talk with various segments of the population, find out what they're used to, what their worship experience is like, and then we blend a worship experience every week to try
What's
to make
that range like? Talk in particulars. Like you've got what we call high church, Pentecostal. And so you actually talk to all of those groups and you try to figure out.
Yes, from student samplings. And then we do a lot of youth church visitations and working with college ministries to try to come up with a natural blend to make that happen. But really what makes it work is that we empower students to lead that experience, and they are the real key to pulling it off every week.
Well, I do sense that. Every time I'm there, students seem to be really shaping that. They shape the music. But I've been there when you had a fairly formal worship service with the organ playing and stuff like that, and people were reciting prayers, and I've been other times when it was noisier than I really usually tolerate. But so then part of it is that students are learning other people's ways of worship then, isn't it?
Absolutely, it really is. And faculty play a major role in chapel experience as well. And so they bring high church tradition, some more Baptist, some conservative, mainline. And with that blend together, it makes it all work.
Isn't that amazing? We have one God, and we can worship Him so many different ways.
Absolutely.
And we can learn from other people about how to do that.
Absolutely. Fresno Pacific.
Now, how often do you actually preach in chapel? You yourself? Because I know you got a lot of other speakers.
Probably more in the spring than I do in the fall, because we like to honor our Anabaptist history in the beginning of the year. We have about 5 or 6 weeks committed to Anabaptist theology, who we are, what our history is. And then we have various series that happens: Missions Emphasis Month, Social Justice, Building Cultural Peace Weeks, and those are all thematic programs that we have. But then in the spring, I get more intimate and talk about things like relationships and missions and evangelism, more of an evangelical kind of approach to what we do.
Now, it's on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Wednesdays and Fridays.
But this year you've been running a thing where Wednesdays are different from Fridays.
Absolutely.
Tell me about that. I've been there for both, and I can sort of feel the difference. But what's your theoretical foundation? What makes those distinctions work?
This year, over the summer, our chapel director did some research, and there's a phenomenon kind of sweeping the country called TED Talks. And TED Talks are these very powerful moments where truth is spoken and information is given in a conversational format. And we wanted to change chapel up a little bit, and so we called it Chirp, which is kind of our sunbird.
Because we're sunbirds.
Right.
Okay, so we squawk and we chirp.
Right, absolutely.
And some of us are lame ducks.
Right. Absolutely. And it was phenomenal. It took off, and it let us talk about difficult issues, things like anxiety, anorexia, sexual addictions. How do you deal with these things in your mid-20s, and how does God speak into that? And we had our faculty to lead the Chirp series. And
now you have outside speakers sometimes for that,
we
too.
We sure do. Professionals from the community come in. And Chirp has really grown, and it's holding consistent even with the chapel attendance. So great program.
And then Fridays?
Fridays is your more traditional chapel.
More like a corporate worship experience.
And the preaching of the gospel.
And preaching of the gospel.
Absolutely.
And that's been pretty well received from what I can hear.
Been a great reception. It's been great. And students
You're going to continue that pattern?
We will. We will evaluate at the end of the year. We'll assess how we were able to do and how they really responded to programming. Then we'll go from there and do research again over the summer. Next week we'll be in San Diego talking with other experts about what they're seeing, comparing, and then come back and get at it again.
Yeah. Wow. And once in a while, you even let me speak over there.
We need you to speak.
Bless you, brother.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate your tolerance.
We bless you, brother. We love you. They love to hear their president.
It's good to be there.
Yeah.
And I know that I hear so often, God's using you powerfully in the role that He's called you to here, brother.
Praise God.
And you're a personal blessing to me. I get to have a pastor at church, and I get to have a pastor at work.
Amen. God bless you.